The transition we call death is perhaps life's greatest mystery. Yet through countless testimonies across cultures and throughout time, we discover a profound truth. Love creates a bridge between worlds. The energy of those who have crossed over remains intimately connected with us, often in ways we might dismiss as mere coincidence or imagination. When someone we deeply love transitions to the other side, their essence doesn't simply vanish. Their consciousness, the true self beyond the physical form, continues to exist in a dimension that occasionally intersects with our own. These intersections manifest as subtle signs, gentle whispers from beyond that remind us the relationship continues, only in a transformed state. Edgar once shared a profound insight about the nature of consciousness after physical death. He taught that consciousness is not produced by the brain, but merely transmitted through it, like a radio receives signals. When the physical radio ceases functioning, the broadcast continues. Only our conventional means of reception has changed. This understanding revolutionizes how we perceive loss and separation. The first and perhaps most powerful sign that your loved one remains connected to you is the unbreakable bond of love itself. This bond operates on a frequency that transcends physical existence. Those who have developed spiritual sensitivity often report feeling an unmistakable presence, a sense that their loved one is somehow still with them, guiding and protecting from beyond the veil. This presence isn't merely wishful thinking or psychological comfort. It represents an actual energetic connection. When someone transitions, their energy field doesn't disappear, but rather expands beyond physical limitations. Their consciousness, now freed from bodily constraints, can more easily merge with the universal consciousness while still maintaining individuality and specific connections to those they love. You may notice this connection most strongly during quiet moments of reflection or meditation. The chattering mind often drowns out these subtle impressions, but when mental noise subsides, the voice of spirit becomes audible. Many report experiencing a sudden, unexpected sense of peace washing over them during moments of grief. This is often the soul of the departed reaching across dimensions to comfort the living. This energetic connection can manifest as sudden, unexplainable feelings of comfort during difficult times. You might feel an overwhelming sense that everything will be all right, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. This is your loved one's consciousness, working through the field of universal energy to soothe your pain. Their energy can also influence your thoughts and decisions in subtle ways. Perhaps you feel inexplicably drawn to visit a certain place that held meaning for them, or you find yourself considering options you normally wouldn't, ones that somehow align with their values or wishes. This isn't manipulation, but gentle guidance from a consciousness that cares deeply for your well-being. Sometimes, their presence manifests through electromagnetic effects. Light bulbs that flicker when you speak about them, electronic devices that turn on unexpectedly, or batteries that drain quickly in certain locations. These phenomena often indicate a spirit attempting to utilize available energy to signal their presence. Science is only beginning to understand how consciousness might interact with electromagnetic fields, but thousands of consistent reports suggest a correlation worth investigating. Dreams provide another powerful channel of communication. Unlike ordinary dreams that process daily experiences, visitation dreams have a distinct quality of realness. They often feature clear, vivid interactions with the departed, who appears healthy and at peace. You might wake from such dreams feeling not grief, but reassurance, as if a real reconnection occurred. Indeed, many spiritual traditions teach that during sleep, our consciousness partially detaches from physical limitations, making interdimensional communication more accessible. The connection with departed loved ones also manifests through synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that defy statistical probability. Perhaps you repeatedly encounter their favorite song in unexpected places, or continually see numbers that held significance in their life. You might find objects associated with them appearing mysteriously, or notice patterns that seem deliberately arranged to catch your attention. These aren't random events, but orchestrated communications from a consciousness that knows exactly how to reach you. The most profound aspect of this continued connection is its evolutionary nature. Just as relationships grow and change in physical life, your connection with those who have crossed over evolves. Initially, signs might be dramatic to break through your grief and skepticism. As you begin to acknowledge and trust the connection, communications often become more subtle but deeper, shifting from external phenomena to internal knowing. This continuing bond doesn't prevent you from moving forward in life. Quite the opposite. Those who have crossed over want nothing more than your happiness and growth. Their guidance often gently nudges you toward healing and new possibilities while honoring the love you shared. They exist now in a state of expanded awareness, understanding that love isn't diminished by new relationships, but only grows in capacity. One of the most compelling signs that your loved one remains present in your life manifests through unexpected sensory experiences, particularly through scent. Many who have lost someone dear report suddenly detecting a distinctive aroma associated with that person, appearing in environments where such scents couldn't logically exist. This phenomenon represents one of the most direct forms of spiritual communication. These olfactory experiences typically emerge with remarkable clarity and specificity. Perhaps you suddenly detect your grandmother's signature perfume while alone in your home, your father's pipe tobacco scent in your car, or your partner's cologne in an empty room. The fragrance appears distinctly, often lasting just long enough to be recognized before dissipating. A brief but undeniable message from beyond. What makes these aromatic visitations particularly significant is their precision. It's rarely a general pleasant scent, but exactly the specific fragrance connected to your loved one, the exact brand of aftershave they used, the particular flowers they tended, or even the medicinal smells associated with their final days. This specificity eliminates the possibility of casual environmental factors and points to something more deliberate and meaningful. The science of olfaction tells us that smell connects more directly to memory and emotion than any other sense. Our olfactory bulb has direct neural pathways to the brain's limbic system, the seat of emotion and memory. Those who have crossed over appear to understand this neurological reality, utilizing fragrance as an efficient method to trigger recognition and emotional connection. When these aromatic experiences occur, they typically arrive during emotionally significant moments. You might detect your mother's perfume while contemplating an important life decision, or smell your spouse's signature scent on your anniversary. The timing rarely seems random. Instead, these olfactory messages often appear precisely when you need comfort, guidance, or simple acknowledgement that you're not alone. What's particularly fascinating about these scent manifestations is how they differ from memory-triggered associations. When we consciously remember someone, we might mentally recall how they smelled, but these spiritual visitations involve actually detecting the scent physically, often noticed by others present as well, confirming the objective nature of the experience. This suggests something beyond mere psychological comfort is occurring. The mechanics of how spirits might generate these scent impressions relates to energy manipulation. While in physical form, we identify scents through molecular structures interacting with olfactory receptors. Those in spirit form appear capable of creating energetic impressions that stimulate these same receptors without the physical molecules being present, what spiritual teachers call etheric impressions, left as calling cards from souls reaching across dimensions. These fragrance phenomena often show distinct patterns of appearance. Many report that the scents are strongest near objects or in locations that held special significance to the departed, their favorite chair, the garden they tended, or places where meaningful conversations occurred. This suggests that emotional energy lingers in physical spaces, creating conduits through which spiritual communication becomes easier. Some experience these olfactory signs as transformative spiritual awakenings. The unmistakable presence of a familiar scent where none should exist often serves as the first undeniable evidence that consciousness continues beyond physical death. This single experience can transform grief and skepticism into profound spiritual understanding, opening awareness to other subtle communications from beyond. Interestingly, different cultures across history have documented similar phenomena. Ancient Egyptian texts mention spiritual visitations through sacred oils and incense. Indigenous shamanic traditions worldwide recognize distinctive scents as indicators of ancestral presence. The Catholic tradition acknowledges the odor of sanctity, unexplainable pleasant aromas associated with spiritual visitations. This cross-cultural consistency suggests a universal aspect of human spirit communication. Not all aromatic visitations involve pleasant fragrances. Sometimes the scents connected to a person might include medicinal smells, tobacco, or other aromas that wouldn't conventionally be considered pleasant. Yet these too carry profound meaning, often serving as undeniable identifiers that eliminate doubt about who is communicating. The spirit world prioritizes clear recognition over aesthetic pleasure. The transformative power of these fragrance visitations extends beyond momentary comfort. Many report that after experiencing these aromatic signs, their grief shifts dramatically toward acceptance and peace. Something about receiving such concrete sensory evidence of continued existence helps the human mind grasp the reality of spiritual continuation in ways that abstract beliefs cannot achieve. For those experiencing grief, these fragrance communications often arrive during the darkest moments of despair. Many report detecting their loved one's signature scent precisely when contemplating whether life is worth continuing without them. The timing suggests an aware consciousness actively monitoring emotional states across dimensional boundaries, intervening at critical moments with tangible reminders of continued presence. How should we respond when experiencing these aromatic signs? Spiritual teachers recommend acknowledging them directly, speaking aloud your recognition and gratitude. This acknowledgement strengthens the communication channel and often leads to increased frequency of contact. Creating a quiet, receptive environment free from sensory overload also facilitates clearer reception of these subtle messages. These fragrance visitations shouldn't be dismissed as grief-induced hallucinations. Their specific qualities, appearing when least expected rather than when actively sought, being detected by multiple witnesses, manifesting in environments where the scent couldn't logically exist, and their precise correlation to emotional needs, all suggest something beyond psychological explanation is occurring. They represent genuine bridges between dimensions of consciousness. Understanding these olfactory communications requires expanding our perception beyond conventional materialist frameworks. When we recognize that consciousness is not produced by the brain, but merely transmitted through it, we begin to grasp how personality, memory, and individual identity continue beyond physical death, including the capacity to generate sensory impressions that register in our physical reality as distinctive, recognizable scents. These fragrance visitations invite us to develop a more nuanced understanding of consciousness, one that acknowledges its continuation beyond physical form and its ability to maintain specific connections with those still experiencing physical reality. Far from superstition, these experiences represent profound evidence of life's continuity and relationships that transcend the boundary we call death. The mysterious realm of dreams provides perhaps the most profound channel for communication with those who have crossed to the other side. Unlike ordinary dreams that process daily experiences, visitation dreams possess a distinctive quality that sets them apart. A vivid realness that leaves you with certainty that something beyond ordinary dreaming has occurred. These nocturnal encounters represent genuine reconnections between souls temporarily freed from their respective dimensional limitations. During normal sleep cycles, your consciousness naturally loosens its tight connection to physical reality. The brainwaves shift from beta to theta and delta frequencies, creating conditions where your awareness can partially detach from material constraints. This altered state creates an optimal environment for interdimensional communication, a meeting ground where souls from different planes of existence can temporarily reconnect without the barriers that separate them during waking consciousness. Visitation dreams from loved ones who have transitioned typically share distinctive characteristics. The departed often appears healthy, whole, and radiating a subtle luminosity, even if their final days were marked by illness or physical deterioration. Their communication feels direct and purposeful rather than the disjointed, symbolic language of typical dreams. Most significantly, These encounters leave you with a lingering sense of peace and renewed connection rather than intensified grief or longing. The emotional aftermath of these dream encounters provides one of the clearest indications of their authentic nature. While ordinary grief dreams often leave you feeling the pain of separation more acutely upon waking, true visitation dreams typically generate a profound sense of comfort and reassurance. Many report awakening with a deep inner knowing that their loved one continues to exist and that the relationship endures, albeit in transformed form. This emotional transformation suggests genuine healing energy has been exchanged. Communications received during these dream encounters often contain information impossible for the dreamer's subconscious to have fabricated. Perhaps your departed father mentions events occurring in your life that began after his transition, or your child references conversations you've had with others since their passing. These evidential communications provide compelling verification that something beyond imagination is occurring. Actual consciousness-to-consciousness contact across dimensional boundaries. The timing of these dream visitations rarely seems random. Many report that their loved ones appear during periods of particular emotional difficulty, important decision-making, or significant life transitions. This suggests a continued awareness of your life circumstances and an active desire to provide guidance and support during challenging times. Those who have crossed over appear to maintain not just awareness of, but also concern for your ongoing journey. Why do these communications occur through dreams rather than waking consciousness? The answer relates to energetic frequencies. Your ordinary waking consciousness operates within a relatively narrow band of frequency, one optimized for navigating physical reality. During sleep, these limitations relax, allowing perception of subtler energetic frequencies where departed consciousness naturally resonates. This creates the equivalent of tuning your radio to the correct station to receive the broadcast that was always present, but previously undetectable. Some spiritual traditions teach techniques for enhancing receptivity to these dream communications. Creating a calm environment before sleep, setting conscious intention to connect with specific loved ones, and practicing remaining mentally alert while physically relaxed can all facilitate clearer contact. Keeping a dream journal by your bedside allows immediate recording of experiences, capturing details that might otherwise fade upon full awakening. The information conveyed during these dream encounters often proves remarkably practical and specific. Your departed spouse might offer insights about family situations developing after their transition. A friend might provide guidance about career decisions or relationships. A parent might share perspective on child-rearing challenges. The practical nature of these communications suggests continuing interest in your well-being rather than abstract spiritual messaging. Children often report these visitation dreams with particular clarity and frequency. Their natural openness to multidimensional experience, unburdened by adult skepticism, creates receptive conditions for authentic contact. Many children describe regular dream visits from departed grandparents or siblings with matter-of-fact acceptance, often receiving age-appropriate guidance and comfort that helps them navigate challenging life transitions. Collective dream visitations provide particularly compelling evidence for the objective reality of these encounters. Sometimes multiple family members report dreaming of the same departed loved one on the same night, receiving similar messages or witnessing identical appearances, often without discussing their experiences beforehand. These shared experiences suggest something beyond subjective imagination is occurring, an actual consciousness reaching out to multiple recipients. The philosophical implications of these dream communications are profound. They suggest that relationships don't end at death, but continue evolving. The bonds of love, commitment, and shared experience create connections that transcend physical existence. Rather than seeing death as an ending, we might understand it as a transformation in the relationship, a shift from physical to energetic interaction, with dreams serving as temporary reunification points where both parties can briefly experience direct reconnection. Some dream encounters involve multiple departed loved ones appearing together, perhaps family members who transitioned at different times but appear simultaneously in your dream. These group visitations often convey important messages about family dynamics or provide collective guidance during significant life transitions. They suggest continuing relationships not just between the living and departed, but among those who have crossed over themselves. Visitation dreams sometimes occur at the precise moment of a loved one's transition, even when the dreamer had no conscious knowledge that death was imminent or had occurred. These simultaneous communications, often verified later when learning the exact time of passing, suggest consciousness immediately continues in coherent form, capable of connection and communication without interruption despite the physical body's cessation. Perhaps most significantly, these dream encounters often reveal our departed loved ones continuing their own evolution. They frequently communicate new understanding, expanded perspective, and continued growth, suggesting that consciousness development doesn't end at physical death, but accelerates as artificial limitations fall away. This ongoing evolution provides profound reassurance that existence remains dynamic, purposeful, and meaningful beyond physical form. The consistency of these experiences across cultures, historical periods, and religious traditions points to a universal aspect of human experience rather than culturally constructed beliefs. From ancient Egyptian dream temples to indigenous shamanic practices to contemporary near-death studies, the patterns of these communications remain remarkably consistent despite vastly different belief systems, suggesting they reflect fundamental aspects of consciousness rather than cultural conditioning. These dream encounters ultimately invite us toward a more expansive understanding of both consciousness and relationship. They suggest that what we call death represents not an ending, but a transition in how connection manifests. From physical to energetic, from visible to subtle, from external to internal. The love shared between souls creates bonds that transcend dimensional limitations, allowing continuing communication, guidance, and shared evolution across the threshold we call death. When you awaken from these profound encounters feeling peace instead of intensified grief, recognize the significance of this emotional transformation. It represents not just psychological comfort, but energetic healing, the direct transmission of higher frequency awareness from a consciousness that has expanded beyond physical limitations. This gift of peace serves as confirmation that the encounter was genuine, a true reconnection across dimensions facilitated by the timeless bridge of love. If these hidden signs resonated with you, take a moment now to subscribe to our channel. Each notification bell rings not just in your device, but perhaps in the realm where your loved ones continue to watch over you. Share your own experiences in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to recognize the subtle signs in their own life. Remember, acknowledgement is the first step to strengthening these eternal connections. Subscribe, comment, and join our community of seekers who understand that love truly transcends all boundaries, even death itself.